global leadership has failed. The issues are so hard. So I think I just came up with rhythms and melodies. So you can still dance, you can still party. I think if the music was too depressing, you'll just cry while you're listening. I don't even know how people sleep at night. I find it hard to even watch the news now. It's so depressing. Why are we still making bombs? Why are we still killing? Why are we not spreading more love?
I'm Zack Newmark. This is Dam Yankee. And on the other side of the lens, joining me by video, is Afrobeat legend and 6-time Grammy-nominated musician Femi Kuti. I'm so excited to have you here, Femi. Thank you so much. You know, obviously your father is very well known also as a global superstar, Fela Kuti, and your son is making a big name for himself too. But your last album was a little bit different. Journey Through Life has a little bit more to do with your daughter. Can you tell us a little bit about that, please?
No, it wasn't worked with my daughter. It was she had an operation and I was working on the album. So I couldn't be there with her because she went to India for the operation with her mother. And so I was so depressed at this time. So I used it to write the album. So I had to take my mind off not being able to be there with her. So I used the energy to focus on the album. And yes, one of my Grammy nominations was with the album Legacy Plus with my son. Yes.
Tell me a little bit about how you use your music to get over negative emotions, because obviously your music is very upbeat. It's very positive. It's very inspiring. And how do you as the artist, get past something like, feelings of depression, due to what's going on in your personal life?
It's not just my personal life, it's general world issues. The way I see my music is there used to be a malaria tablet. As children, it was the worst tablet you could take. It was so bitter. And the way our parents got us to take it was they will give us a soda drink. So if we take it, or we'll take it with the soda. It didn't help that much, but that was the only way to take that tablet. It was disgustingly bitter. So the issues are so hard. So I think I just came up with rhythms and melodies that will help digest these hard topics I think about. So you can still dance, you can still party. So consciously or subconsciously, the lyrics will hit you. But I think if the music was too depressing, you'll just cry while you're listening. I didn't want to enter a state of no return in depression listening to my music.
Your music has, often been characterized as being focused on uplifting Africa and, being a driving force for Africa to grow and develop and prosper. Do you have any sense that what you're working on is shifting because the world is shifting?
Well, the way I see things now is, yes, I focus on Africa, but the way I see things for some time now is we all have to learn to live together. I see the planet as a big house with a lot of tenants, and we all have to find a way to work together and live together. I don't think anybody can truly survive on their own. And there's too much intermarriage, too much has gone on in 1,000 years that we can't segregate ourselves. It doesn't make sense really.
Mm-hmm.
And so I speak more of global issues, world peace. I do focus on Africa because it's my home. I have a great understanding of the political and social climate here. but just I do I want to see world peace. I want to see more joy and more happiness. So my music it focuses on both issues really these days.
And where do you see things going right now? Because it's obviously it's a very
The,
tumultuous moment in the world right now.
um, Lee, I keep telling people leadership, global leadership has failed. It has failed for at least 800 years or more. After the First World War, Second World War, why are we still making bombs? Why are we still killing? Why are super nations and why are we not spreading more love? I'll give you an example. In Haiti, after the earthquake in Haiti, the world should have rallied around Haiti. I mean, there are so many people without work. It's just money. Who makes money? Man makes money. The World Bank could have written the debt off, paid all these people, work, build Haiti, build hospitals, build the roads, get Haiti back on their feet. Haiti should be thriving now, as with Sudan or Congo or anywhere we're talking about. All these NGOs go there and no problem seems to ever be solved. It just nags on and drags and drags. It has been the same story from when I can remember. So there's something wrong in the way I think leadership deals with these issues. Do we truly want the world to prosper? Do we truly want love? I mean, why are we still making bombs? Why are we still killing? I don't even know how people sleep at night after all these killings. I find it hard to even watch the news now or social media. It's so depressing. It's so difficult to find a lovely story or lovely issues. So I think, where does this come from? I would say the educational format that is indoctrinated in our schools is very selfish and self-centered. So we grew up selfish. My house, my car, I want, it's mine. In the African community, African culture, it was more of a community sense of all. It was my children. Everybody's child was yours. It was your responsibility to look out for one another, so to say. In the classroom, everybody wants to be first, and you don't care about the person sitting next to you. I've been saying this for some time now. If anybody fails in the classroom, everybody must take responsibility for that child's failure. This brings a sense of everybody belongs and nobody is bullied or left behind. If that student is lacking and the teacher can't get to it, the brightest student or the brightest student should help that student in the class.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't what when you come first, of what benefit is your first to the rest of us? Oh, you want to show off. So it's about showing off, arrogance. You're not humble. So virtue should be a very important subject, I think, to teach mankind how to be humble, how to be gracious in school. This discipline is so important for musicians, accountants, doctors, lawyers, that we have to tread life carefully, I think. So I think this lacks in our upbringing as human beings. So I think this is one of the main problems we have. So leadership, we just have a lot of arrogant, pompous leaders who want to just show off their strength, but they don't spread love. Like I said, all the bombs. If we spend more time helping nations, like housing, health, roads, and all these things, the world would be a better place today. But we're making bombs, more guns, more bullets, more killings, less love, and less of the things we should be truly uh, striving for.
Um, it it's interesting that you speak about it this way because if I take a step back to what you said about that you find it difficult to watch the news and you find it difficult to follow social media. Is Do you consider that to be an unusual place to be for yourself? I mean, your music is so politically motivated and socially motivated, and so is your father's music as well. To be at a point where it's hard to find inspiration from the news, is that? Did you ever think that you'd get to a point like that?
Uh, I did think I've never given that serious thought, but it's still I still have to find a way around. I always find a way around issues. So yes, it is depressing to watch the news or social media, but I will find a way to still create, I hope, great music that will inspire people. I'm sure many people feel the way I feel. So I've the way I see it is I see myself as a medium that higher forces use. And the more I am humble, these forces use me because I have to teach myself. I have to inspire myself. And it's from this attitude I hope I inspire others
Mm-hmm.
and give people the kind of relief I feel after my music. I hope I help people get by with their day-to-day life as I use my music to get through my days or years. So this is the way I see it. So yes, I'm in this state right now. My last album, I was in that state. As I get older, of course, after 13 albums, it gets more difficult to find new melodies, new rhythms. But I'm sure if I remain humble, steadfast, it'll come.
You talk about sort of being a medium for the higher powers. Are you a religious person?
No, I'm very spiritual. I'm not religious.
Mm-hmm.
I think the difference with religion and spiritualism is religion you need to follow. Spiritualism you lead yourself. You don't need an intermediary when you are spiritual. It's between you and the cosmic order or the universe. Religion you need an intermediary. I think the way I see how they practice it. And I don't even my children. I don't tell them. I don't force them to practice my style or my way. I mean, they'll decide what they want to do in their life. It's spiritualism is personal.
Mm-hmm. Being that sort of individualistic and self-confident, is that how you've always been, or did that develop over time?
Oh, it developed over time with going through my father's life, um, and reading books and seeing global issues. So at every point, I just decide this is the path I want to take, and so that's what happens. And the way I mean, mankind thought there were 12 planets and one universe. Now they say it's millions or billions of planets and millions or billions of. So, I mean, we learn every day.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when I'm traveling, the higher you go into the atmosphere, Earth doesn't even exist. So there's an equilibrium, there's a balance. As much as we don't exist, we exist. So that's why I say we have to be humble because we're, we seem like nothing in this very chaotic universe
Mm-hmm.
or universes. But as much as we're nothing, of course we have to be something because we exist. Now, I think it's for us to make our existence meaningful, not destructive. What is happening now is we are making our existence very destructive. So I think that's the problem.
Mm. Um, uh, I'm asking also about the self confidence because you once described the bravest thing that you've ever done as standing up to your father. Your father is a global is a global icon in music, but he's passed away some time ago. You yourself, like I mentioned, 6-time Grammy nominee, also a global icon in your own right. So, can you tell me about what you meant by standing up to your father?
Sorry, what I meant by what?
When you said that the bravest thing that you had ever accomplished in life was standing up to your father, that was the bravest moment for you. Can you expand on that a little?
I'm sorry, the internet keeps breaking.
I'll try.
I'm sorry,
No
it
problem.
keeps.
I'll try to ask one more
Okay.
time. It's no problem. Um, I saw an interview with you from about 10 years ago, where you were asked about the most brave thing that you had ever done, and your answer was a very short standing up to your father. And I'm wondering,
Oh, okay. Standing up to my friend.
yeah, and so
Yeah, I guess.
I'm wondering what you meant by that, because you come off as being very confident and self-reliant, but also with a sense of community. And here, your father was truly a global icon in music, and you've now forged your own path and are also truly a global icon in music. So, what did you mean by standing up to your father?
Yeah, because the day I decided to leave, it was the biggest decision I took at that time. Everybody was scared for me. His fan base hated it. He was very angry. But I think that was the biggest decision I did. I think what would have happened today is if I did not take that step, I would have had all the albums I have. I'll have been still under his umbrella and I'll have been playing all his songs. And these same people have been asking me, and okay, we know your fella's son, you keep playing all his numbers, but we don't know anything about you. And I probably will have been I'll have been very regretful. Now, the path I chose was I can still honor my father because I love him unapologetically. I admire him, I respect him. So I could not understand the issue. The issue I found was the way people wanted me to go, including him, was what if I passed? What if I died before? So everybody wanted me to take over his band after his death. But what if I died before him? That means I didn't live. I was living his life for him. I wasn't living my life.
Mm-hmm.
Then I thought that idea was, as a child, why am I wishing or hoping my father dies quickly so I can take over? So that seemed very horrible. These were very horrible thoughts. I didn't want my father to die. I loved him too much. So I couldn't understand. So I thought it was best I left and went on this journey, which I knew would be very difficult. But if I did start this journey, I didn't know, I was quite confident I would be successful. I didn't have any choice. So I'd rather die trying than just be idle and just, I don't know what I've been doing really. So I set out and I was determined. I still have that kind of determination. It shows, I think, when I'm performing. Um, I put a lot of stress in my life. I work under this very stressful scare. It's very scary. I'm always scared about the next day. I'm always scared. Like I'm going on this tour now. Everything is geared towards making every night very successful.
Mm-hmm.
We have 19 dates, and I mustn't lose my voice. I mustn't lose my energy. After 10 gigs, people don't care where I'm coming from. They want it to be better than the last time. I must still be fresh. At 63, this is very difficult. But I think maturity experience helps me to maneuver my way and um, be successful in this. We did 24 dates in America last year, which was very tough. But at the end, I could smile.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope after this tour, go on my bed, put my hands behind my head. I say, have another chore done, and I'll be happy. So living, so I'm living my life. You see,
Hmm.
I'm living my life, and I'm happy because it's my life. But with a lot of respect for my father, with a lot of admiration for my father.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you formed your own band in 1986, right? So exactly 40 years ago.
Yes. Wow. Yes.
Have you reflected on that? It
Yes.
seems like you weren't aware that it was exactly 40 years now.
No, we thought about it last year. But I mean, these thoughts come and I don't dwell on them, you see. I don't dwell on anything.
Hmm.
I think it's when you dwell on things, you time leaves you behind. Yes, it's 40 years. I'm going to move on. You know, if I dwell on it, then I'm just going to go. And I think probably that's where arrogance and you don't grow from. So 40 years, yes, 40 years, yes, yes. So I was okay. Okay, it's 40 years. I'll move away from that quickly.
Yeah, so it's not that it's 40 years, it's what about the next 40 years?
I don't know. Another 40 years, I'll be 120. I think no way. That's, I'm quite a very realistic person. So I have less to live than less to be here than be here. But I'm very grateful about my time. I don't want to go back. I don't have regrets really. I think we're here to learn, and I try to make use of every single day.
Mhm.
Yeah, spend time with family, and make it very every every moment is important for me to not waste it and learn. I think we're prone to mistakes. You need to forgive yourself when you make those mistakes. Or else, like I said, it it overwhelms you and you go into a very horrible place. So you have to learn, you have to forgive, you have to keep on striving. I think the sin is when you don't strive for perfection. It's very hard to be constant with perfection. But the sin is when we don't strive.
Mhm.
For me as an artist, I have to keep on practicing. Every performance must be the best for me. And the day I can't do that, then I'm losing meaning to myself and my profession. So I think this is the way I see the world.
That idea about not wasting time and not wasting a day, is that what you mean by that you still get worried day to day, that you still have fears from day to day?
Of course, yes, yes, I get great fears. Yes, I'm afraid a country might use a nuclear bomb, and I mean, if it does go off, I'm not going to worry about it. We'll all probably be dead. So I worry to a point where I don't want it to happen. But if it does happen, I don't have any control to stop madness, right? So I, I've got to a point where I don't have a magic wand to change things. So I'm very realistic. I want these things. I want this beauty. I want this love. But I'm not going to fool myself that I have a magic wand on my sax or my music and just automatically change these things. I hope, but I know a lot of people feel the same way I feel
Mhm.
and have hope. Um, so I hope my music helps the way it helps me go through all this stress and world difficulties. So my children, for instance, think I'm a great father, but I tell them to learn. Culture and tradition teaches me that they need to sit back as well. I'm sure I've made one or two mistakes. For them to grow when they have their kids, they should use me as thesis to help them when they have their children. Oh, I think daddy was wrong here. And this is where culture and tradition develops.
Mhm.
So as a father, I have to do my best to be a great father, give my children the best, give them love, security, and things like this. And I think this is in all aspects of life. If we don't strive to become better people, then as human beings, we are failed. We know we're like animals. I think what makes us better than animals is we can make aeroplanes, cars, but when we don't act godly, we're failed. When we don't care, when we don't show love, when we hate, then we are even lower than animals. And I think this is where education comes. When bullying happens in schools, it shows education has failed.
Mm-hmm.
How do you go to high school and there's still bullying? That means that process before you got to high school failed. Is it from the home? Education has failed because you shouldn't even go to nursery. From nursery, you go to primary. I think by primary, bullying should not even exist anymore. So when you go to secondary or high school, how can bullying still exist? How can there still be rape? So all these issues are centered around human education from the home, school. So we have failed. When it's so persistent now, that means we have failed in how to govern ourselves as a people.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking about wars, all these issues. They're very serious issues that we should be hearing in most cases at this time, 2026, they shouldn't even exist anymore. That is still so rampant means the human race has failed to be human.
You,
So you understand what I'm
I
saying?
do,
Yeah.
and you have 9 children. 6 are biological, 3 are adopted, right?
4 were adopted.
Excuse me.
They're all grown up now. They are married. And I have 7 children,
I
7 biological children.
and
And one is Made, my first son, who will be in Holland soon.
yeah,
He's married. He has his band. So he's my responsibility. But I mean, he's a grown man now. He's
I
30.
I,
So I have
I wanted
6 that are still,
Femi,
yes.
can you tell me how, with so many children, how you've tried to pass these ideas on to them about creating this world that is improved and better and free of bullying?
We talk about this. These are issues we talk about. We watch the news together. We talk about everything together. Of course, in my home too, we have issues we deal with, especially with social media,
Mm-hmm.
which is very problematic for me as a parent. Wow, to deal with it. Oh, so I'm on the phone with my children. Oh, I don't like what you said on social media. Don't do that. Apologize. You don't talk to people like that. So it's a constant thing. Parenting is a constant way of life for parents.
So
And
you still call out
the good thing is that
you still call out your
yes, of
children on
course.
social media, even though they're grown up and out of the house.
No, not the grown up. They are still teenagers.
Okay.
My eldest son, he is very, very. I think is I think he's a better person than me. He's very. He listened, and this is what I'm saying about culture and tradition. This is what I want to see. I think he's a better musician. Eventually, he'll be greater. I think he's more humble. He's more down to earth. But as a parent, this is what inspires me that, wow, what beauty. What a beautiful soul. Wow. And this makes me gracious.
Mm-hmm.
So he helps me with his siblings, right? So I don't even have to do much work because he calls them out too. So I mean, I hope they will get to the stage where they all be like him. But they are doing quite well in school. Um, so I mean, we teach each other. Now, having said that, I make mistakes too. So as soon as I make mistakes, I quickly apologize. Oh, your father was wrong there. Please forgive me. Hug, kiss, and we all like hug together. Yeah, okay, big family, big hug. We like hugging. This family. It can be very irritating sometimes, but My children like hugging. They like hugging, 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 hugging.
How is this different from how you grew up? Is it similar, or is it
No,
different?
very different. I grew up in my mother's home because I lived with my mother for quite a large period of my life.
Hmm.
It was similar. My father was Kalakuta, where it was like open house policy. So everybody was treated like equal. Everybody was equal there. We all knew I was Fela's child, but he had an open house policy. The problem there is everybody had a right. But when I left Kalakuta and went to my friends' houses, I didn't have a right. They had a right. So everybody called my father their father, but they called their fathers, and I wasn't allowed to call their fathers my father. So there was a big, huge discrepancy. So, I mean, we grew to understand what my father was doing. I mean, Kalakuta was a big party, but the older I got, I didn't want my children to, they had to belong.
Hmm.
They had to know this is their father. I was their security. I was their parent. And because we were fellas children and society, a lot of high class people didn't want us to mix together. Boyfriends, my sisters were kicked out of the house. Oh, fella's daughter. Oh, I don't want you to marry my child. So we had this issue. I was kicked out of a lot of houses as well.
Hmm.
Oh, fella's son, no, you cannot marry my daughter. You know, so this was quite painful for us. So my sisters and I were very close because we always discuss this. We had this discussion. So my side of the family were very, very close because we grew up, we are much older than Shemu, for instance, or my other siblings.
Hmm.
So we witnessed this issue on a very large scale because Fela was very in the center of, he was so huge and fighting the government. So we grew in this very chaotic period.
And
So
what was it?
growing up, I wouldn't want my children to feel the way I felt.
Mm. What growing up under Fela Kuti's? I don't know. Would you say you grew up in his shadow?
Hold on, come. And this is the my son I was talking about.
Hey, what's that?
Contact. That's my elder son.
This is
Sorry.
a lot of music talent, a lot of talent here. Yeah, but I'm growing up. With Fela. Did you feel like you were growing up under his shadow?
Not really.
Mm.
Not really. I did no, not really. I just think I was like a mini fella because I used to dress like him. Everybody wanted me to dress like him. He bought me the same clothes, same shoes. I mean, I enjoyed it.
Hmm.
But it gets to a point I started to realize I want to get married. I want my own children. Is this what I truly wanted? You know, like I said, I didn't like the thought that I was waiting for my father to die before I took over.
Right.
I didn't like that at all.
Right.
I didn't like that thought. It was like I was praying for him to die. So I had to take that out of my mind completely. No. And what if I died before him? That means I didn't live. So I didn't like that at
Yeah.
all. Um,
Tell me then,
so,
what was it that brought you into music? As
oh, my father did.
total. Yeah.
Like I said, it was my all.
Hmm.
I just loved him. I wanted to be like him on stage. He was my everything. I mean, I loved his music better than any other music. Uh, we loved them. James Brown, Michael Jackson, Temptations, name them, Dinosaur, Shalama. We listened to everything, Bob Marley. But I thought my father was the best. You can call me, yes, he's my father, but that's what I thought. I defended him anywhere. like I said, unapologetically.
Hmm.
So what I he was playing the trumpet, I wanted to play the trumpet. He was playing the sax, I wanted to play the sax. And my issue was, then Dad, why did you teach me? You should teach me. You should teach me how to read. You should teach me how to write. And I think that's where what he did wrong with me in parenting. I think that's where he went wrong.
Hmm. Hmm.
So I ensure my son can read, he can write. He has to have a good education because in my time, I could probably have gotten away with many things like this. In his time, he won't get away with it. It enhances his creativity. He can talk to anybody musically. He can write music. He can score. He's a great composer himself. The first album he did, he played all the instruments. He played bass, guitar, trumpet, sax, percussions, drums. He played everything. That album was solely Femi Kuti performing all the musical instruments, his very first album.
Right.
So you see, this makes me proud because he listened and I gave him the tools as a father. And I think that's what fathers should do. So I learned. I'm now not criticizing my father
Hmm.
because maybe it didn't just come to him. So I learned, oh, this was his mistake. I mustn't make the same mistake. So I ensure. So the same thing I would tell Madi, if I make a mistake, make sure you don't make the same mistake with your children. So you see, this is how the family goes. This is how the legacy becomes better.
Right.
So we teach ourselves every day. So Made is a very big teacher of me because when I'm like completely lost, like, oh, daddy, you were not like this before. Why are you letting this get to you? Oh, yes, huh? I don't know. Okay. So sometimes it brings me back on course. You see, so it's a daily process we all go through as human beings.
Hmm.
Nobody can be perfectly right all the time. So we learn. And that's where leadership comes. Leadership should be about learning. A leader should want to learn, want to provide, not war, not killing. No, the world is going definitely in the wrong direction. There are too many people unhappy. People don't smile anymore, and people force themselves to be happy. Happiness is forced on you. You force happiness. You shouldn't force happiness. You shouldn't need to get high or drunk to be happy. No, that's like kind of forced happiness.
Right. Right.
Happiness, you should feel, you should breathe happiness.
I feel like you and I are going to start meditating together soon.
That's something I wish I did. My mother used to try to get us to meditate. I could never do that. It's a very good, way.
If you had upset your father in the mid '80s when you started out on your own, what was the moment where, uh, was there a moment where he was accepting of it, where he realized this was the right thing for you?
Yes, of course. Uh, Long before he passed, because I left and we had nowhere to play, and he came to see mother's, my maternal grandmother's. He came to her birthday. I think it was her 60th, and he came. And on his way out, he said, "So what are you doing now?" I said, "My band is still there." First of all, he criticized my first album. Oh, he said it was a horrible album.
Hmm.
And so he hadn't seen me for a while. And I said, okay. He said, "Do you want to play?" He used to play 4 times a week and he stopped playing and he wanted to cancel. It's called the Sunday jump. So he says, "Look, do I want to start performing on Sunday in his club, the Shrine?" And I said, "I would love that." He said, "Okay, you can start next week." Then he says, "No, not next week. 27th of September, let's make it that date." So it gives me enough time to tell my fans to come and watch you. I said, that would be great. Okay. Can we still use the place to rehearse? And my father and I were on bad terms. So this was where the good times started again. So we started to rehearse. So he came to the club that night we were playing and he heard me. And he was like, wow, wow, this is what I'm talking about. This, my elder sister was watching it. He was so proud. and he could not stop talking about how I'd grown. So this was a very good feeling.
And then turning that around into the way that you've developed your career. Did you also take his feedback and his criticism to and apply that to your performances on stage and your studio recordings?
Yes, I mean, there was a time he criticized me when I was in his band. He said, "Why do I keep repeating the same thing every night?"
Mm.
And I was very angry. So, who are you to tell me? You don't teach me, you don't do anything, and you are criticizing. So we didn't talk for a while. But we used to sit down and smoke together. So after a while, one day I'll go, he'll offer me a joint. I will sit down, we'll start talking politics again. Or like that. It was always, we sat down, discussed, we were, having said, man, we were very, very close. We were very, I just let the world sometimes know it wasn't, people think because Fela's son, it was all rosy. People think we didn't have our uh, difficulties in life. And people think it was all because are quite successful today. They think it's people fail to see sometimes the hard work I had to put in.
Mm.
Like, yes, I've done a lot for my son, but if he doesn't put the hard work in himself, if he doesn't practice and work, he's going to fail.
Mm-hmm.
I can only set him off and give him the tools. I can't play the sax for him. He has to play it himself.
Right.
I can let him know some skills I play, but he has to develop his own. And that's life.
And
So I don't take, like I've said, I don't take, I I love my father unapologetically.
mm-hmm.
And if I was asked in the heavens if I wanted him to be my father again, without hesitation, I would say yes.
And what I'm also so amazed by is how you've managed to develop by combining also these genres of music and taking different influences from different genres of music. You said growing up, your father's music was your favorite growing up, but what are you listening to now?
Right now, nothing really. I listen to my songs sometimes when I'm driving. I've not really sat down to listen to music because I wanted my music to be very deep. I got this from Miles Davis. I was reading the biology autobiography of Miles Davis, and he said he cut off everything to find deeper meaning to his music. So I said, wow, that's a great idea. So I cut off listening to anything. And I think that helped me really go deep into my soul to find more essence in myself and my music. And so, but this, sometimes you're at a party, you hear, oh, who is this? Oh, not bad. You're at the radio or on the plane. There are sometimes you can't help listening to music.
Mm-hmm.
I love my son's last album. Wow, I think that was very powerful. So I love listening to it because it takes me, I trip a lot when I listen to it because it's fascinating. There are a few bands I like. Um, there's a band called Folks in Lagos. I like live music.
Mm-hmm.
I like when young people are showing dexterity and improvisation with musical instruments. So any young band really, I like. I don't mind sitting and watching to see. Wow, okay, nice.
And you mentioned Miles Davis's biography. Are you telling me that you don't, from time to time, you know, go off by yourself and pop in a record of his or a CD of his?
Yeah, I might. One, if I'm driving, if I'm going long distance driving,
Mm-hmm.
I might put a Coltrane or Miles Davis, but I will not sit in my sitting room like here and put anybody's music.
Right. Okay.
I mean, I love to remember there's an album by Dizzy Gillespie, Things to Come, the
Oh yeah.
track.
Yeah.
Wow, that album messed my mind up. I said, 15 horn players. You see, this thing blew me away. I said, wow. You know, growing up, I hated jazz. And my father said, well, if you want to play music, you better love jazz. So he told me to go and buy this album when I went to America. A girlfriend of mine paid my way there. So I go to America. I said I should buy this album, Moody's Mood for Love by James Moody.
Mm.
And I got to the store and I saw Moody's Mood for Love by um, George Benson. So I said, yeah,
Yeah.
this is it. My father doesn't know this. Let me take it back to him. So I took it back to him. I says, are you stupid? I said, Moody's Mood for Love. You think I don't know George Benson? You think I don't know George Benson? So I was like, what is, oh, go and listen to this other one. So I went back to my room and played the one he told me. Well, I said, well, not bad. Okay, it's okay. I still prefer George Benson's because it was more funky, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
I go back, I said, well, so okay, this is jazz. That's not bad. It's not really bad as I thought because we were teenagers, we were young, we were going to parties. Yeah, you know. Uh, so I go back to listen to my Charlie Parker
Hmm.
because I started with Charlie Parker and Dizzy. And I said, what are they playing? No, 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 no. This is rubbish. No, no, no. So he says I should start with something more melodious. And so I went back to Charlie Parker. And I said, wow, are these guys human? I said, what? So I looked at my sax. I said, yeah, I'm in trouble. Oh, I'm in big trouble. I thought they were robots, or I thought it was impossible for anybody to play the musical instrument like this. I was so sad. I said, well, I don't think I can ever do this, but I can be Femi Kuti. So this thinking, listening to jazz was what made me, I can't be Fela. Everybody wants me to be Fela. I can't be Fela. So I better look for Femi quickly, or else I'm going to be lost. So it was through listening to this and thinking like this that made me come up with all these other ideas. Like, okay, yes, but this won't work for me. No, it can't work. It won't work. So I find another path.
Hmm.
So I was very happy. So then I said to appreciate, say, wow, see, wow. You know, so I said to listen to anything, the blues. I said going deeper into jazz, and I said to listen to classical music as well.
Hmm.
You know, then I said to appreciate all the musicians. You know, a lot of people don't get heard. They're not so. I said to see the entertainment world that, wow, it's not because you are famous that makes you the greatest or the best. There are so many people that don't get fame, but they are hardworking and they are incredibly talented. So I said to see the world in a different light. I said, wow, you know, because you go through school and you just think because the radios have said, this is the person, yeah, you must all accept it. And they don't give you, you are narrow minded, so to say.
Hmm.
And that's when you start to see ballet dancers. You start to see, I like the Olympics, when you see all this skate dancing and all this, because it's years and years of hard work. So I said to appreciate things from a different perspective, you know, and well, this is my life, so to say.
Well, and now here you're about to start another tour, and you're doing 4 dates here in the Netherlands. Um, but you've been playing in the Netherlands for a very long time. I mean, with your own band, I think you've been coming here since like 1988 or 1989. You've played the North Sea Jazz Festival. Um, uh, uh, you know,
Yes, I need to go back there one day again.
y-
Yes.
yeah. So, what is it about playing in this country that has been, that why have Dutch audiences been so receptive to your work?
I hope they love my music. I mean, they must love it to come. um, you know, I just love, I love performing. I
Hmm.
love making albums, but it's like night and day. I love being on stage. The happiest moment is when the concert is going great.
Hmm.
And so I hope the audience feel what I feel. They must feel what I feel if they come to my concerts. And when they are there, I like to give them my very best. I hope they feel my pain, they feel my sorrow, they feel my happiness through the music and how I heal. I hope it heals them. I hope it gives them the confidence it gives me as well.
Hmm.
I hope it gives them, at the end of the day, inspiration to go out in this very chaotic life and gives them the energy to strive. So I think probably some people feel this or invite their friends. Oh, Femi Kuti, come and listen. I hope they all come again this time. And
That's great. Well, I really appreciate all of this time. I do have two questions that I forgot to ask you from earlier, so I'd like to go back to those briefly, and then
yes,
these two questions will drop in where they're appropriate. But
okay,
you know, you've been so generous with your time talking to me and telling me these stories with this big tour coming up. I just I want to wish you all the success with your with this journey and with your shows going forward.
thank you.
So the two questions that I wanted to ask, first, also about your father. You just accepted a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Grammys on behalf of your father. That was just about 6 weeks ago or so, or 8 weeks ago. You yourself, you've been nominated 6 times. You haven't won one. Um, is this? Do you feel a drive to actually win a Grammy yourself, or is that not something that's so important to you?
No, I don't like the feeling of the Grammys. I don't like. So I went to the first nomination. I never went back after that.
Hmm.
I didn't like it. It seems like, they box us into like a Champions League. Five people and the winner is, and everybody's. I just didn't like it. I didn't like the feeling. So I never went back.
Hmm.
I got 5 nominations after that. I mean, if I win one day, I don't think I'll even present my album again. Why? It doesn't make sense. I just want to play music and inspire people, inspire myself, and work hard. This is my joy. My joy is to be a musician. If people honor me, okay. Like I said, I'm not going to dwell on it. I'm going to move back to my comfort zone. And my comfort zone is just keep on practicing, working hard, trying to get more melodies, trying to perfect my skills and all that, making my family happy. And so, but my father winning was, he wasn't nominated. It was a recognition.
Hmm.
For me, the Grammys is still the biggest world awards. And for them to honor him, this made us very happy.
What
Um,
what was so important
and
about
it because
the Lifetime Achievement Award specifically that you wanted to be there to
for me,
accept it?
because I always knew he was a great man. I thought his music stood against any music, any genre of music growing up. So this proved me right. Now, a lot of great musicians listened to him. Miles Davis, James Brown, Paul McCartney, everybody, most of all these huge, successful mainstream artists were inspired or listened to Fela.
Hmm.
But he was never mainstream because he did not participate in the 3 minute songs or blah. But everybody saw him, said, wow, wow. And with his fights, he was named by some magazines the greatest composer of the 21st century. So he was recognized for the Grammy to honor him means this is the greatest body. For me, it's a big slap politically on the Nigerian government, for instance, because they have never accepted the killing of his mother. They have never accepted or apologized for the burning and the several beatings he got. And he has never been recognized. Now, when the Grammy says for me, when they honor Fela, that's a very big slap politically. Musically, it gives me comfort to say, wow, because all these great musicians were inspired. When you even go to the next generation, Jay-Z, Beyonce, Alicia Keys, and Wyclef, they were all inspired by Fela. So it's a it shows I was right. My thoughts as a young boy was right. So this brings a big smile. And I see, like again, like I put my head at the back of my head when I'm going to bed, I said, wow, that's a good feeling. Because you are growing up, you are going to the disco as a young boy, a teenager, you're hearing Bob Marley, you are hearing all this. But why is Fela not getting the same recognition?
Mm-hmm.
I say, but I think his music is as good. And then I'm reading Miles Davis' book one day and he mentions Fela. Miles Davis is listening to Fela. Miles Davis is listening to Fela. So I take the book to Fela. Fela, Miles Davis is listening to you. Fela said, wow, Miles Davis inspired Fela. And Fela said, wow, what a very uh, roundabout turn.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So this again brought happiness to me reading that book and seeing Miles Davis talk about my father. So you see, like
If
I
that's
said,
something that made you proud was that Miles Davis was listening to your father's music, is there
yes.
a similar artist or a similar something similar that you've read about your own music that made you feel the same way about yourself?
No, I wouldn't talk about myself.
Oh, come on.
No, I wouldn't talk about myself. Okay, let me give you one.
Give me one, please.
Okay,
Yeah.
some years, the album "No Place for My Dream." I was social media was I wasn't into social media, and somebody comes to show me said, Alicia Keys tweeted, "Wow, this album is bringing such great inspiration." She thinks it was the best album. No Place for My Dream. I said, wow, that's nice. I had a few like that. Uh, uh, a lot of them are my friends or we have had contacts. They are, uh, I had a call from, most of these things are private, but I had a call from Mr. Carlos Santana
Mm.
a while back who told me one of his best tracks was Truth Don't Die. And he says, wow, what a track. And I said, thank you, sir. And he did a cover of it,
Right.
Truth Don't Die. And nobody told me about it. It took me like 12 years to know he did a cover of it. So this made me angry with my management. And why did nobody tell me? Can you imagine? This guy comes to Shrine. This is a track Carlos Santana did. So I'm saying, no, Carlos Santana. He called me once. Yeah. So we go into Apple Store. And so we played it for a long time. No, his guitar work. A whole cover of my album. Wow, that made me I blushed a bit. So I have few things like this going on.
So Alicia Keys and Carlos Santana, have you ever played with either yourself, or would you?
Yeah, I did a concert with Alicia Keys. She had a kind of fundraising many years ago she had a foundation and I went to play there.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Carlos used to Carlos Santana used to come to most of my shows in San Francisco. You see him sitting on the balcony there. And so, I mean, like I said, Wyclef and I talked quite some time. Jay-Z called me a few times. Swift Beats used to call me. So, I mean, like I said, most of these things are kind of private.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want me to call big names, I can keep calling big names for you. But I think they are confidential.
It was also, it reminds me a little bit that Carlos Santana also had a lot of success collaborating with a lot of artists in the 90s, which reintroduced his music, I would say, to, let's say, the generation of people younger than me or, about my age and younger.
Yes.
Are there any collaborations or, plans in your future to work with any artists on albums like that or tracks like that?
No, I doubt it. Not on my album.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very self-centered in that respect. I don't know. But let me keep an open mind. Say never.
Because,
But I've done a lot of collaborations
John Lee Hooker also,
with many.
John Lee Hooker's another one who introduced a lot of, brought blues back in the early 2000s through a lot of these joint projects as well, right?
Yeah, but I don't think my case is like that.
Mm-hmm.
My case is quite different. Every case is very different. They chose to do that. I don't know if I will do that. I probably would, but I doubt it. But like I said, never say never. But I've done a lot of collaborations with many the new genre of music, Afrobeats in Nigeria. I've done
Mm-hmm.
quite a few, but I've done them. I don't think I want to do it anymore.
Okay.
I'm not really truly inspired to do collaborations anymore. It's like diving into the deep sea. I want to dive deeper into myself and see what I can come up with. And I'm still looking for something very special from myself, which I don't think I've found.
Mm.
This makes me quite unhappy because I'm still looking for it. And until I find it, I don't think I'll find that true happiness I'm looking for. So this is really where I am. Collaborations are easy. It's like coming up, taking person. Okay, collaboration, but it disturbs me from what I want to do
Okay.
personally. So, I mean, I did a collaboration with my son in his album. So one off like this, I might do here and there, but it really takes me away from serious concentration and meditation into what I want.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, after 13 albums, it's so difficult to come up with another melody. It's so difficult to not be monotonous. It's so difficult to not remain stagnant and in the same place and develop yourself spiritually and musically.
Yeah.
This is very difficult. And this is where I find total interest in myself.
Okay. And then the last question that I wanted to ask, I meant to ask earlier, but it was about the work that you've done with Mede, with your son. You kind of implied that he's on the way to becoming a better musician than you, and on a path to becoming a better performer. Does that also push you to keep improving and to be a better version of yourself on stage?
Not of myself, of himself. It's not about me.
No,
His life is about himself.
No, I mean him doing better and becoming great on stage. Does that also inspire you to keep practicing and to keep working and
Yes,
to keep driving forward yourself?
Yes. It's like a give and take. Yes. When I see him, I know I have to work harder because I know he would not want me to relax. So he will want to push me harder. So I don't think he will want to see me dwindle away.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to keep on waking up to practice because this is what I taught him. So if I don't do what I taught him, then what kind of teacher was I? If I now start putting my feet up, So yeah, his music brings great inspiration. His life brings great inspiration and happiness. Yes.
That's great. All right. Well, Femi, I again thank you so much for your time, and I think now you can put your hands behind your head, lean back, and cross this chore off your list for the day.
I'll try. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Have a great, good luck with the
Thank
tour
you,
and
Zack.
good luck going
Bye-bye.
forward. Dam Yankee is an NL Times podcast. The show is created by me and Peach Rizzo, and this episode was produced by Marcus Engel and Laura Bodger.